student of Tennessee A&I State University. We are here to celebrate the Freedom Riders. And if you noticed in front of the Greyhound bus terminal, there was a listing of the names of the Freedom Riders. If you look to the right of their names, in a majority, I don't want to take away from anybody that was not a student at Tennessee A&I State University, you will notice that the majority of the names on that list are students from Tennessee A&I State University. I think the reason for that is, I must mention Diane Nash.
All right.
C.T. Vivian.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bernard Lafayette.
All right.
James Bevel.
All right.
John Lewis.
All right.
Last but not least, Jim Lawson.
That's right.
I don't think we'd be here today if we're not for those people. We've heard talk about the civil rights movement. Nashville was in the process of boycotting the downtown area. It didn't happen until the 60s, but it started in 1958. For some reason, Jim Lawson went to India. He was a missionary, and he studied the works of Gandhi. Came home with the intent of going to Oberlin University to study, to further his studies. Now, I don't know what his relationship was with Dr. King at the time, but Dr. King said, forego your education and come south. I don't know if Dr. King said, go to Nashville, but that's where Lawson ended up. And he brought with him what he had learned about nonviolence. And he taught it to us. Now, the names that I mentioned all had a different agenda. Only one person had said that they were coming to Nashville, and that was Diane Nash. Now, her reason was, and I smiled because she was a student at Fisk University, and across the street from Fisk University was Meharry Medical College. So think about that one. That's her reason for coming to Nashville. But the others that I mentioned had no plans of coming to Nashville. They all had a different agenda. But through God,
yes, sir,
they all ended up in Nashville. And they were our central committee. And they taught us well. The question was asked, were you afraid to go on a freedom ride? And I think that through our training,
yes, sir,
I can read something to you, and you'll understand why we were not afraid. Excuse me.
Take time.
The Lord is my shepherd.
say it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures.
Yes, sir.
He restores my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake.
Yes,
Yea,
sir.
though I
Come
walk,
on.
this is the part I like. Yea, though I walk
Yes, sir.
through the valley of shadow of death,
Yes, sir.
I will fear no evil.
Yes, sir.
For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff shall comfort me.
Yes, sir.
Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my
That's
life.
all right, sir.
And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So I believe that as a freedom rider, I knew that he had my back.
Yeah. It's there.
And he had your backs.
It's there.
All right, Rep.
It's there.
And we weren't worried about it. And I know that when we were demonstrating in Nashville, people would say, weren't you afraid? I said, no, not for myself. I was afraid for the person in front of me in the line and the person behind me, but not for myself. And I'm sure that that person in front of me was not afraid for their sins, whether they were male or female, because we were like a chain, and you couldn't break us.
All right.
And so when it came to the Freedom Rides, and CORE decided that it was too dangerous, there were 3 or 4 people that got mad with Diane Nash because she knew that this thing had to keep going.
All right.
The President of the United States was mad with her. His brother, the Attorney General, was mad. Even James Farmer even tried to talk her out of going on the Freedom Ride. And Siegenthaler, they put Siegenthaler on, and that didn't do any good.
All right.
Now, how is it that she knew that she had an army behind her?
Say it, sis.
She was a general,
That's right. That's right.
and we were just her foot soldiers.
That's right.
And so she sent that group down. We had to argue about it. Even we had to argue with SCLC in Nashville. They didn't want to give us the money to go. And so what they did, they wrote a check, and it needed 2 signatures, and they only put 1 signature on the check. And they said, well, by the time this other person comes back in town that has to sign the check, they'll forget about it. Thank God for numbers at that time.
It was like the numbers man.
Because it was a numbers man that signed the check that night that we got it.
That's right.
And so when they looked for us, we had this, well, I say us, I wasn't on that bus, but I was a part of it. I was on that bus spiritually.